Tightrope walk for Ranal again. JVP exposes UNP's trick. Planned alliance falls on Dylan's head. Sajith takes over fight to prevent crossovers. Rana Thea appears with new plan. Is it with Dilith?
The leader, දේශයට මග කියන ප්‍රවෘත්ති පෙළගැස්ම.
Tightrope walk for Ranal again. Power games, trading criticism, plotting, secret talk and whatnot continue as parties feel the heat of the presidential polls that comes nearer by the day. A key meeting between Basil and Ranal took place at the Paget Road Place on the 13th night. Dinesh, Nimal Siripala, Mahindananda, Tiran, Kanchana, Manusha and Ranil's secretary Saman too were in attendance. Prasanna was out of the country. Basil came with SLPP General Secretary Sagara. Manusha brought a team, including Iraj Weeraratne and Susara Dinal, for a social media presentation in support of Ranal. Talks on elections progressed with dinner. Here too Basil proposed to hold a general election first. But Ranal did not budge. "I am contesting," he told Basil while having a single malt whisky. Then they discussed obtaining the SLPP's support for that. Ranal said he would leave for Bali on Friday and promised to meet them again on Tuesday. Basil suggested inviting Lanka too, with Ranal saying Anura Yappa will be there as well. So Lanka got invited for the next meeting, but he rejected it. While conceding that Ranal needs SLPP votes to win, Lanka told an official close to Ranal that the president will be humiliated if he goes on stage with the Rajapaksas. Not just Lanka, even the Nimal Siripala faction in the SLFP is displeased with Ranal's meetings with Basil. This morning, about a dozen of MPs from those two sides breakfasted together at a Thalawathugoda hotel. They discussed about Basil's invasive tactics. Some said they would have to turn away from Ranal if Rajapaksas make invasions in that manner. Lanka balanced things up by promising to meet Ranal once he returns. In Parliament on Monday, Chief Opposition Whip Kiriella inquired if Kanchana was with Mahinda or Ranal. Mahinda has not rejected the government's restructuring process, that one responded. Kanchana stressed the CEB's restructuring would continue, saying there was no intention to sell it. In the meantime, FPC's Professor Charitha said on X that he respected Mahinda's stand, but that the SLPP has approved of the privatisation being carried out by the present regime and the president. Anyway, just like he resolved the economic crisis, Ranal will have to make a tightrope walk again to settle all these disputes. Commitment with honesty, exceptional courage and patience are needed in that task. JVP exposes UNP's trick. Whatever is said by Ranal, both ruling and opposition politicians doubt if he will give in to Basil's pressure and hold snap general elections. Even top figures in the UNP are in full confusion. That has intensified with several of those close to Ranal now campaigning to promote their personal images. Some opposition MPs discussed at the Parliament canteen on Monday that a general election is likely first. Basil started his campaign last week. Ruan, Akila, Ravi K and Sagala have been having their own image buildings for some weeks now. Among posts by politicians on account of International Mother's Day, the one by Sagala caught the attention of many. The JVP's Lanka Truth website says the National Security Advisor is challenging certain UNP leaders in an image-building campaign. Does that mean the enemy has felt the change in the UNP, or is planting news like that to make things confusing? We will have to understand it and decide accordingly. Planned alliance falls on Dylan's head. Dayasiri, the ex-General Secretary of the SLFP, is planning a new party and was at the Elections Secretariat last week to inquire into the progress of its registration. He had already handed over the documents required. It was speculated that Dayasiri is going to contest both general and presidential elections under the heart symbol. According to him, the Humane People's Alliance will have the backing of 23 parties and will work devoid of racial or religious differences. Presently, its electoral organisers are getting appointed. However, the talk is that Dayasiri, as well as Roshan, will join the SJB to strengthen Sajith's hands once the election is announced. SJB General Secretary Madhuma Bandara has told Deshaya that MPs in both the government and other opposition parties have discussed obtaining the SJB membership. By the way, some are hesitant because of the stepmotherly treatment being meted out to certain newcomers from the GL faction of the FPC, especially Dylan and Godahiwa. But GL can even hold media briefings at the opposition leader's office. Last week, Dylan met journalists with the FPC symbol in the background. When inquired, he said he made a return because the new alliance is yet to be formed. For him, the opposition leader's office has become a no-go zone. Sajith takes over fight to prevent crossovers. There have been claims that both the SJB and the UNP are having the same economic policy. Maybe that is because the SJB's economic expert trio Harsha, Kabir and Iran are one-time pupils of Ranal. They even commended certain steps taken by him recently. However, Harsha differentiated between their policies when he addressed the House on 13th of May. Although we were the first to say that the country should go to the IMF, we need not do exactly what it says. We will do changes to the agreement. Our leader Sajith told that to the IMF to the face. We are with the next president Sajith Pramadasa. He always tells us to think about the common man, he said. Harsha strongly criticised the economic viewpoints of both the UNP and the JVP. Those who are with Ranal are in a neoliberal extreme. Comrades are in a socialist extreme. Only we are in a social market, he told government MPs. His speech came less than a day after Ranal sought the support of all parties to a proposed economic transformation bill. Addressing an International Nurses' Day event at Temple Trees, Ranal explained the intentions of the proposed act. It was to some SJB MPs that he first declared his intention of bringing in such an act. That was on May Day. Several SJB MPs had been waiting at a 5-star Colombo hotel suite for a signal from Ranal to go on UNP stage. One gave a call to Ranal to inquire into the delay and found him to be in Nuwara Eliya. The MP asked him if he wanted to make a success of either the May Day or his election campaign. Advising against their intention, Ranal said they should create a policy dispute in the SJB and then leave. He went on to explain that he would present an economic solution idea to Parliament in the coming week and then make an invitation to join it. As planned, Ranal made a special statement to the House on Economy and announced the planned act. On the following Sunday, SLPP leader Mahinda released a statement against privatising state entities. The very next day, Harsha described the differences in the economic policies of the SJB and the UNP. Sajith seemed to have comprehended Ranal's intentions, so he got Harsha to attack him in Parliament. Anyway, Sajith is said to be doing his utmost to prevent SJB MPs from joining Ranal. He was told that one MP met him just yesterday. Sajith accused the government of giving liquor permits to lure his MPs. Some parties can be bought like that, but not our MPs. We cannot be bought, he stressed at a smart classroom handover event. What prevails here is a question of ego. Both Sajith and Ranal seem to have ignored AKD and challenge each other. Rana Thea appears with new plan. Is it with Dilith? After some time, Rana Thea made an appearance in public. On Wednesday, several civil society organisations and politicians came up with a sustainable Lanka national movement. The occasion was its policy statement launch. Their aim is to fill the void created by the degradation of the nationalist camp. Former ministers Arjuna and Roshan, MP Weerasumana, and Colombo YMBA President Mahinda Jayasekara, too, were present. Looks like Rana Thea is busy with plans to field a candidate from the nationalist camp. There is speculation that Dilith will be that candidate. So, leftist, liberal, nationalist, racist and so on, as well as those who are neither here nor there, are in the fight for their share. With political complexity on the rise in that manner, the 22 million people are forced to think seriously before they make their decision. One wrong move could fool the country back to the unthinkable. That's it for today.